Evening all. Bit late this time, making a video. It is 23:15 on the 9th of Augustus 2015. Yeah, fairly lazy day today. I did go out on my 400 miles an hour mobility scooter. Bit of shopping and stuff. Bit of sunbathing while I was out. While I stayed in, did the laundry and stuff. Bit of drama yesterday though. I was in our bedroom, playing a guitar, like knocking out a little blues number I was sort of like working on, when I had a shout from the boy. Went in the kitchen, she'd fallen over, her arm had locked round what we call the kitchen chair where she sits, and she was in a hell of a lot of pain, so called out the ambulance. And it was really hurting, it was going numb, and then it was, you know, all over the place. She was really a lot of pain. I suppose they took half hour, Jen, 45 minutes, something like that. About twice I was on the phone. They want so much information, it is unbelievable, like, you know, is she conscious, what temperature, and can she breathe? And I said she had M&D. You know, they got their two paramedics, a girl and a fella. Well, I say girl, a woman and a bloke, must have been about 30 odd. I recognised him straight away. He remembered sort of coming before. Now, eventually got their arm off. She was, you know, really hurt because she'd fallen on part of the laundry that she was doing. Now she didn't, and right up against the side, and her mobile was up the top above her head, where she'd been sitting on the side, on the chair that she now had her arm wrapped round. I don't know if she's laughing at me now. Well, she's all right now, you know. Her arm hasn't hurt. We thought it'd been murder today, but it isn't. Yeah, so they've got a thing that they got her up before with. They freed her arm. It isn't really, but when I worked in Oswald's, it reminded me when I used to go in the ITU unit, that's the intensive care unit, a ripple bed, but a ripple bed stays underneath the patient on the bed, and it literally ripples, so they don't get bed sores. It reminds me of that, but that isn't what it does. It starts off with battery, then they end up plugging it in the wall. You have to manoeuvre it underneath the patient, in this case my wife, and it pumps, I nearly said blood, it pumps air into it, and eventually, like the patient's flat on the floor or whatever, it eventually gets them sitting up position this time, but before they've done it, and it stood her right up. It's a great thing it is, like, you know. So they've done that, checked her over, you know, all the rest of it. Got a bruise on her arm. I think her hip hurts a bit. Oh, also what it did, she caught her mouth and it's cut her inside and her lips out slightly. So everybody think I smacked her one, I suppose. She bashed her nose once and they went black and they thought I'd beaten her up. You know, they knew I hadn't, like, but it was tempting, like, you know, one of these, like, you know. Anyway, that then they checked on the tablets and all the rest. So they do all that. It's flaming forever, longer than when they actually do the job. But she's fine now. Watching telly, she's done some more laundry. So I said this time, because she always puts a mobile phone or cell phone, as it is in the US, in a little tiny sort of satchel bag around her, so that I said before, if anything happens, she can call me, and if I'm too far away, I can call an ambulance from there and give them the address and that, where she is. You know, I'd have to get back pretty quick to let them in, of course. But she had been doing something else, and normally she puts it on after I've gone, but today when I went out, and also when I had to lay down as I got fairly tired, put it on before I go. Because I was going out yesterday, you know, I was pissing about on the guitar, but after that I was going out. So 10 or 15 minutes later, if I'd have gone out, she would have fallen down, presumably, and she couldn't have reached her phone because she was trapped, couldn't get off from the chair because her arm had wrapped round it. Not broke, nothing. Unbelievable, her arm, that is. So, you know, so I think she thinks I'm fussing too much, but I don't care as long as she's alright, I don't care. So that would have been a bit naughty. I mean, I would have probably been out a couple of hours, come back, oh my God, the state, you know. Afterwards, like, we got in the chair and they went, I had to clear it up because we had to push things out the kitchen quick so they could get in and put their equipment in, like, you know, so I cleared up after, and then we found the glass that had smashed, or the paramedics had noticed, so she didn't cut herself. And as I say, she was right up against the cupboards where she'd been sitting, and she didn't whack her head. How, I don't know. It was once before she fell down, and oh dear, it was in the kitchen, I think it was, and there was blood everywhere. I got the ambulance that time, and because my daughter, I don't know, it must have been 3-4 years ago now, I couldn't go with my wife at the ambulance. It was quite late, because my daughter was there. I mean, she never knew anything. She slept through the lot. I mean, because she's deaf, so she don't hear nothing like it. And there was a load of blood, and I cleared it up after she went. And I laid on the bed. I didn't get into bed. At 5 o'clock in the morning, she came home. You wasn't in an ambulance, was you? That time. Unbelievable. And then, the Soppy Hospital where we are, they never x-rayed her head. I couldn't believe it. Because when I was a hospital porter for 15 years in London, any head trauma, it was routine. You got x-rayed, you know, x-rayed your skull and everything else. No, it's blooming hospital though. I couldn't make it out. It wasn't a big cut, but it was like when I used to shave. You know, you nick yourself, look, and blood everywhere. You think you cut your throat, and there's a little nick. But as it's on the head, mind you, I know she's a bit of an old nut, but you know.
Shut it.
Well, shut it. And shut it. You don't say it like Ray though.
Shut it.
Oh, that sounds like Ray. Yeah, vicious a lot, vicious. So. She's come out all right, and you'd never know now. And anyway, we all thought her arm would be very bad at that, but it's not. I don't think it hurts at all, does it, today?
Oh, yeah, it does.
Well, it does, but...
This was bruised.
It just feels bruised, but... The way it was trapped for about 45 minutes they got here, and then probably about 10 to 15 minutes afterwards when I worked out what to do, you'd have thought it had been, you know, at least a ligament. And it went numb, and at the time I said, can you move your hand? She did, even though she couldn't feel it properly. I said, well, you've got no broken bones. So that he is a qualified hospital porter. Yeah, so it was a bit dramatic. So today, I said, take it easy today. No, straight in, finishing the laundry. She's a bugger, she is, honestly. You know, there's an old expression, isn't there? If somebody chopped your arms off, you'd still try to kick them to death, the people that had done it. I mucked that completely up, but it's an American, I think an American saying. Yeah, so, blimey, looking at the clock, there's 10 minutes already rambling away. So that was it, really. I hope everybody's alright. I mean, I probably might go to bed till about 2 because, I don't know, when was it, about 7, 8, I'm quite tired, and I went to bed. I didn't wake up till 10 o'clock, so I've only been up an hour or so. I had to have something to eat. The old glucose had gone down in that time. I'll put my wife to bed, read her Once Upon a Time story, tuck her in.
Shut up, you idiot.
She just said, shut up, you idiot. Mind you, she probably won't go to bed at 2 o'clock anyway. Right, I'll see you people later on. Hope you haven't been too boring. I watched that video, Brian, that you did. The title wasn't it, you dirty fucking hippies, but you were right. And they were. I don't know whether you was amongst all them sort of people. I don't know, not them exact people. I don't mean them sort of people derogatory. I mean hippies and that. Right, I will catch you later on, and as Brian would say, be glorious, even though it is dark and almost 23:30 in the evening. So, goodbye for now, and catch you probably with an earlier video tomorrow. Bye for now.